I was literally hiding in closets and in the garage and on the side of the house talking to vice presidents of other companies.
I have a workshop at 9:00 and I'm teaching women how to be an amazing wife and how not to fight with your husband. And I just had a fight with my husband.
I was telling him about needing to lay the foundation so that way when I'm ready to hire a team, I can delegate.
The HeartSeat is a podcast featuring high-impact entrepreneurial women who lead with heart and turn purpose into prosperity. Each episode delivers insight-rich conversations, practical strategy, and a fresh perspective that helps you elevate your impact and lead with the kind of clarity and intention that amplifies your influence. Every conversation is designed to guide you toward a business grounded in purpose, powered by heart, and positioned for growth.
Really resonate with the am I good enough? I'm a certificate collector. It's literally like this.
Same.
It's unbelievable. It's like, okay, yeah, I learned this and I learned this. Okay, lie detection, micro expression, TCM, nutrition, and so on. And I'm still learning every year. And I always tell my husband is the same, by the way. This is kind of our love language. And I'm always telling him like, another certification, and he is looking at me like, really? You want to discuss about this, Sabine? Really? You're the same. So, but I love it. I accepted that I will be a student my whole life. And
Same.
I love it.
Same.
And I want to do it. And this is what I love to be an entrepreneur. I was in the video gaming industry, which is high testosterone, hit-driven, I can tell you, for 22 years. And I can tell you, I'm so glad that I left this behind. I'm very thankful for this industry because I met my husband there. So many people I'm still seeing, so many friends. And I have no kids, but I have an adopted family, which is like my friends in my inner circle. And I'm very thankful for this. And this is where I lean in. And when I need advice, and this brings me a little bit back to who do we ask for advice, you know, that I really say like, hey, for example, I have 4 people this year. I said like, I assign you to check in on me at this month, you know, just to say like, hey, how are you doing with this topic? Please keep an eye on me. You know, I set them up for this year and I love it. So I'm very thankful for that I have people in my life who I can ask.
Well, that's one of the blessings of being in a community like this.
Yeah.
Because we're exposed to so many brilliant women. I mean, any entrepreneurial woman is brilliant and has resilience and has drive and experience that a lot of people don't have. You know, when I went to the corporate world, I learned a lot of things, but it was, you know, an 8 to 5 job, and I did kind of the same thing every day. I mean, we don't experience or receive the kind of real life training that we get as an entrepreneur. So in the community like this, we can tap into so many people who've been there before. You know, if it's someplace who we respect and admire, like I can learn things from you. You're a new entrepreneur, but I'm learning from you, you know, because it's different. And so I love that about this community, and I've seen so many people align with each other as mentors and supporters. You were going to say something.
Yeah, I think one of the takeaways is that I learned, especially last year, is I don't have to do it alone. Yeah, and I went into this entrepreneur path thinking I have to do it on my own. I have to learn all of these things. My background's not in business. I majored in poli-sci and history, and I have a teaching credential. Nothing correlates, right? So I'm literally a perpetual student because that's the only way to figure this out. And I realized I don't have to do this alone. There are so many women who they want to help me succeed because they see themselves where I am now. Yes. I'm a young entrepreneur in terms of the amount of time I've been one. And there's so much value in that. There's so much wisdom when we go to these meetings. And I know that if I were to ask Capri something, she would just immediately start brainstorming for me.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love, because we need this community, especially for someone who maybe they have a magnificent idea, but they don't know how to start.
Correct.
That's true.
And there were so many days where I spent hours researching how to do one thing, when in reality, if I had a network, I could just ask, and that would have, an hour tops.
And a real human's better than ChatGPT.
Still, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But even knowing how to ask the right questions, that's something I'm learning too. You can have an idea, but if you won't know how to execute it, if you don't know how to ask the right questions and who to direct it to. So
I mean, we are all very driven, and I know, for example, from you, Caprice, you are very driven. You are a visionary. Do you allow, or do you have sometimes thoughts where you are thinking like, it's okay to relax and not moving forward all the time? Are there some moments?
Yeah. I relax. I mean, I balance has been really important for me in my life, and I didn't have a lot of balance when I was in the corporate world. I was traveling sometimes 10 days a month, and I had 3 little kids under the age of 7, all over the country. Wow. And I had a nanny who was full-time taking care of my kids. I was literally hiding in closets and in the garage and on the side of the house talking to vice presidents of other companies. Yelling to Shelly, can you take the kids to the park? That wasn't the life I wanted to live. And so being an entrepreneur has really, it shifted things for me so much, because I got to become the mom I wanted to be. There were still times when they wanted my full presence, but I got to be working on my business, or I had to go to an event, or got to go to an event. I like to position it as got to. Though, again, they were watching and they're learning. And but balance now as an entrepreneur, I make sure I get it. Like, I love to get together with friends. I love to spend quality time with my husband. Now I'm close to my mom. And it's like one of the best seasons of my life to be able to spend such quality time with her. So it's something that I focus on a lot. So I do, and I am driven, yet I'm also driven to have that balance.
I love it.
I had a piggyback on what Mitch was saying about HeartLink. I invited one of my friends to come to a HeartLink, and she, even though she had been in her business for over 2 decades, 1, she wasn't charging enough. 2, she did not know how to get started in starting her business in the U.S. because she was doing it in a different country. So I said, come to this meeting, and you're going to meet Caprice and Sabine and amazing other women. And so the first meeting that she came to, I think Carissa was there and some other women, and the light bulb went out. And she says, oh, I need to talk to her. I need to talk to her. She is now doing her workshops in the U.S., and she's doing 2 or 3 now because she had gone to HeartLink and met several people that I had directed her, but also just by meeting people in general. When everyone introduces themselves and introduces their business, it is so helpful. And I love that you put, everyone's information there, and we can reconnect and go back and say, oh, I met you at so-and-so on this day, and then, let's have lunch, or let's have tea, or let's talk about what you're about, and how can I support you? And so yes, she's doing wonderful, and she's so much happier. So
that's so good. I love to hear stories like that. Amazing. That actually makes me, every time I hear a story like that, I'm like, I'm doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Even though there's some days when I'm like, what the heck did I get myself into?
Where we are with the roller coaster again.
But that validates. I always get those validations.
But this leads me
for sharing that.
to decision making, actually, because are they times so I was doing a little bit preparation to today, and I was asking some entrepreneurs from the HeartLink community and said, like, what are questions you are asking yourself all the time? And a lot of people said, like, I'm second guessing myself all the time when I did a
so easy to do
decision, So was this something you were dealing with as well? And how did you overcome? What was your solution?
I think for me, it's clarity and alignment. And, self-doubt will always be there. I try to avoid comparing my business to a business that has been established for 10 plus years. Where they are, I'm not. And where I am not where they,
It's your journey.
it's my journey, yes. And so every opportunity, when it happens that I feel like I feel energy rising, that I'm comparing myself, I come back in, because I am where I'm supposed to be right now. And I know that I'm going to be successful. It just has to take the steps to get there. And I'd rather grow my business organically with intention and authenticity than try to compete with everybody else to just push a product out, to mass market, to hire an influencer, all of those things. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to trust. And this year, I'm grounded in attaining clarity and making sure that whatever decision I make is in alignment, and I can feel that energy. So
That goes right along with one of the core values: we complete, not compete.
yes,
I think I already mentioned that, but the we complete, not compete is what I like to say about we complete, not compete is that wherever you show up, there's always going to be the perfect people in the room for you to serve. And there's so many people in the world to go around. So I don't think we need to feel competition, because you've created something. Clearly there was a purpose in you that bubbled up and you said, I'm going to go for it. And there are plenty of people in the world that are going to be attracted, including myself. I love Naked Lotus skincare.
thank you. I like to frame it as the only person that I'm competing against is myself.
That's a
And
good
that's
one. Yeah, that's
that's
really
what I
good
tell my
approach.
kids. The only person that can defeat you is yourself.
Right.
And so, when I angle it that way, it brings the onus back to me and how I'm attacking whatever it is that needs to be,
I believe your breath is essential to life, right? So breathing is essential to life, so that we can be abundant and healthy and live longer. Every day I wake up, the first thing I do is I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for my breath, and I'm grateful that I'm up and moving. What happens when I'm not healthy? Then what? Then do people look at me? Do they think that, okay, she's not healthy? Why is she talking about health and wellness, right? And those are the self-doubts that come to me, because I do take extra special care because of certain things that I need to take care of. And those are the times where I have to say no and yes to myself, no to others and yes to myself, setting those boundaries. And so it's like you were saying, do people think I'm a freak? I think I'm a freak sometimes, because it's like,
Love it.
right.
Hi, free.
It's like I have an unconventional health that allows me to do things, but also at the same time offer support to other women because of everything that I had gone through. So,
But this is your strength as well, You can really relate to your clients and say, like, I went through it. I know how it is.
you're not broken. You're not crazy.
Exactly.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
And
with business,
you have
especially
hope.
with business,
And you can
hope.
heal. That
Yes.
and you can heal. That's
You
what you give to
can
people.
heal. You can heal with faith.
But isn't it like coaches, you're a
So
relationship?
relate. So relate.
Yeah.
Imagine
Exactly.
I have a workshop at 9:00, and I'm teaching women how to be an amazing wife and how not to fight with your husband. And I just had a fight with my husband. and I literally would come to the call because I had so much emotional safety and created so much vulnerability with the ladies. I would be just like, just so you know, I just had an argument with my husband, so I have to reset myself and step into gratitude. But that's what happens. But they knew, my group of ladies, they knew every argument I had with my husband, because they did not want to portray myself as this perfect wife who never has a problem, who never cries. But they would just go through that with me, and they would carry me and I would carry them. And it was like, it's so beautiful, because you're just, as a coach, many times you're just like a few steps ahead. Sometimes, right? And now that's easy for them. Oh, it's just a step ahead, versus like, you're this perfect person, this ideal woman, and I can never be that, right? So I found that vulnerability is the most amazing within this business. Like we all are, that we're not perfect.
Right.
We're still lovable.
And I, for example, I remember, and we talked about this, Caprice, when unfortunately your dad was not well, and you said like, I need to stay with your dad, and a whole community stepped in.
Oh,
It
so
was
much.
unbelievable. It was unbelievable. No one was even thinking about it. Like, hey, I take over this, and so on. It was such a blessing to see. It was unbelievable. And this is really, even if the heart of HeartLink was missing, everyone is carrying a little bit, a piece of the heart in them, you know, and you could really see it. So it's okay to be vulnerable and say like, I just was fighting with my husband, and you know, and when people are asking me what should I do, how do I scale my business, and I had a conversation with my husband, and he's like, how do you scale? And I'm like, okay, can we talk about this another time, please? Who is my private financial director? Shout out to Frank. Yeah, I'm not good with the finances. I'm not interested. I'm more in the nurturing part. Yeah. So yeah, it's really about the community and how it comes together. So yeah, beautiful.
I'm glad you brought that up, because it gives me an opportunity to share how grateful I was at that time. I didn't go to a single HeartLink Network meeting for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's how powerful. And I didn't know that, because for the first 13 years of my business, like I did everything alone. And it was that year when my dad was sick, and then he passed away. But it was like a year leading up to that. And so in those final 6 months, that's when I had to be there. My mom was hospitalized. There was so much that happens to people when they're sick, and the people who have to care for them. And it's just a lot of pressure and stress and difficult. So I learned that I don't have to do it all alone, just like you were saying. And that was, you know, that was forced, because I didn't do that intentionally. But that opportunity created a blessing. And it's really also a really important point in the life of HeartLink Network Women, because it made me realize too that, you know, we can expand, because it's not just me.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people that are stepping up to support the mission.
Correct.
What is something, and if it's okay that I'm asking it, what is a key advice you would give to an entrepreneur who's really sitting at home and is like, why am I doing it? Am I doing it right? What am I alone? And so on. What are key advice?
I would say just to do it. Just start.
Yeah.
Just start. Don't think about it. Don't overanalyze, and just start, because you can continue to grow every step of the way, and things are going to go wrong, but you just keep going, because you have something, and there are people out there who need it, and you don't realize how impactful you can be.
I'd say connect to a community where you're going to get the support as well, because sometimes we all know that family members, right, or people who are in our closest circle may not always see the vision, right? So what I can say is that many times people, if you post on Facebook, people are going to be, oh, don't do this. It's too hard. Like, you're going to better spend the time with your kids. Like, even my mom, right? Why are you doing that? But then you go to network like HeartLink, and you sit with women who are alike, and they have the same entrepreneurial mindset, and you get that support, and then you're like, I can breathe. You know, I can look at that list from last HeartLink meeting, and I can pick somebody. Maybe I can reach out to this person and just chat, right? Because we're all in it together.
I really felt that it wasn't all that long ago when you invited me over, and we really just had some girl time.
Yeah.
And we learned more about each other. It deepened our relationship even more. And we talked about everything from, you know, kids to our histories to what we love to do, where we like to go. It was just so wonderful. And so that's just an extension of the community, being able to go even deeper in our friendships. And that is one of the core values of HeartLink Network. It's HeartLink Network Women. It's friendship first.
Yeah.
And it, you know, I always say it doesn't have to be a BFF, although there's plenty of BFFs that have been born out of HeartLink Network Women.
Sure.
But it, you know, if we treat one another as friends, then we are going to naturally refer one another too, because I want to know that if I have another friend that needs your support, that they're going to be supported well. And I can only know that if our relationship goes deeper and becomes more meaningful, and I begin to trust that this is a person I want to connect with someone, because I know that that person's going to transform or have some kind of positive impact from meeting Anne or Yola or Sabine or Mitch. So I love those even deeper connections that come from that friendship first mentality.
What I loved when I was posting something and you gave me feedback, you gave me suggestions, I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel so supported, because it was like, no, you can post in the Heart Link, but here are a few tips. I'm like, thank you. Because when you start, you are really kind of gun shy, right? And it's like at some point, 2 years later, 3 years later, we become that person who the next person is coming along, and now you give to that person. You want to give, and I think that's what it is with women, especially like this certain age over 40. We become givers. We're probably givers before that, but we'll give to the family. And after that, we start our, for me, found out who I was, my mission, who am I as a person. And now I want to give to the person behind me. So it's always supporting each other. I think that's the beauty of all the networks and the groups, that we are here for each other.
Yeah. And what is something you would give as advice?
I would say get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
It is not easy being an entrepreneur, but it is wonderful because your passion, whatever your passion is, your joy, listen to your intuition and your gut. Your gut is always right. And for me, when I started my community, I had doubts, but I had support. Again, my family, my daughter. My daughter actually was the one who came up with Essential Aunt.
Wow.
It was my daughter, and it was Richard who came up with Women's Wellness That Works. So it's a family. It was a family community. So yes, just do it, but get comfortable being uncomfortable, because every day is something new that you're going to learn and expand and evolve. Because being an entrepreneur is definitely, the fluctuation, the ebbs and flows, but you're expanding every single time. And I think where I came from in 2021, I actually rebirthed Women's Wellness at Work. It started in 2018, rebirthed it during COVID. And in the last 5 years, I would never expect it to be where it is today, thanks to you and Sabine, and now meeting Mitch and Yola. Did you wake up one day and say, I want to be an entrepreneur? I did not. I had no idea. Working as a Fortune 500 company, then saying, oh, I'm going to be a yoga instructor. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. No, it is definitely something that you have to want to do.
I can tell you one thing. When I graduated college in Poland, I said, I'll never study again. And I learned something new every single day. But I think the difference is that you see the immediate result of your learning, the next funnel, the next landing page, the next something. We learn every single day there's something new. And now social media and everything else, right?
And so to really zone in on and take the time to figure out your why is so huge, because that's really, it's necessary, it's essential to be successful, is to not do it for the wrong reasons.
This is the most asked questions I get with my clients. Why am I here? Why? What is my purpose? What is keeping me? What are my blocks? And once we tap into this and resolve them, it's a totally different feeling. What is my why? It's so important, definitely.
When I was stepping into the why, because I ran my business for quite a while of coaching, and I knew why I wanted to go and help women save marriages, because I came from a divorced parents, and I totally knew how it was. So then as I was thinking, switching back to my husband's business, what is the why now? Right? You go from coaching and passion and all that stuff. I'm like, how can I find passion in it? And interestingly enough, when he did my facelift and I could see myself for the first time in 10 years, like the way I felt on the inside, I was just like, I can do this. So now I'm all fired up because I like what I see. And it truly helped me, that the whole why. But before I could get the why, I could not click over and just be as passionate about it as I was about the coaching business. So I feel like finding the passion, the why behind what we do is always so powerful.
You had said that it was a little like your identity is in your marriage mentoring business, and also supporting your husband's business, who plastic surgery. I don't know what it costs these days to do a facelift, but there's money in it.
Yes.
And having that kind of competing type of thing, like where now maybe there was a potential to lose your identity if you were just focusing on the plastic surgery. So it's just incredible how meant to be it was, because I see how you've perfectly blended the two, and now you can maintain that identity and still support your husband's business, which supports your entire family. And so your business can grow. You've still got your identity. You're amazing. I've heard several people in the last month tell me how you've changed their lives.
Thank you.
So
I truly believe in fate, and I believe that God puts two people together for a purpose. And if he wanted me to be completely away from my husband, not do business with him the way that we are doing it, he wouldn't put us together. But I had to go off and find my identity, because that's where women get lost many times in relationship, is with their loss of identity. They get so embedded. That's what I did. So I had to pull away, get my identity back, and now I can come back, and together we can rise and create something absolutely beautiful. And yesterday I posted a reel, which was funny because it was us together, him in surgery doing something, and then me commenting on the marriage. I posted it, and because it was a joint effort, it got 1.3 million views.
Oh wow!
I'm like, because it was together. And I think that's the power of togetherness versus separate.
I don't know if my husband would get 1.3 million. My husband and I would get 1.3 million views, but congratulations. Your husband's sweet. You hosted our holiday luncheon, which was so generous of you. We really loved it there.
Wonderful.
And your husband, it's Cruz Plastic Surgery.
Yes.
And Yola Cruz Plastic Surgery. And I thought, wow, this is a great play on words. Santa Cruz. Like Santa Claus. And so I said, do you think he'd wear a Santa hat? And he did not want to do that. But he came into the room filled with women wearing a Santa hat. And we introduced him as Santa Cruz.
He was showing up for sure.
He did that for you.
Yes, he does. He's just such a amazing supporter, and I just could not love him enough. And I just have to share with you, but the first marriage counselor I went to told me to divorce him when I had a 9-month-old
No, don't
child.
do it. I saw how he looks at you. I can insist to
Isn't
that.
that crazy?
And if I see it, it's really true. I can tell you.
She's a face reader.
Right? Oh,
The body language, everything was spot on. I can tell you.
thank you.
I don't know. Maybe we come to an end with one more question I received from the community was like, how do you scale? How do you expand? How do you strategize? Because this is really hard for entrepreneurs as well.
That's a really good question.
That is a great question.
I think that leads me to another question, but let's stick with yours. But just the other aligned question is that I've asked myself is, how do I let go of things that I do for my business and trust someone else to do them?
Yeah. So this
But
is a
that's
form
right
of
along-
scaling and strategizing, saying like, hey, I'm a strategist in my own company, but I do not have to do everything by myself.
Yes.
I have this as well. I'm not replaceable. These eyes are not replaceable, but I can give.
I was just having this conversation last night with my son. He's taking business classes. And I was telling him about needing to lay the foundation so that way when I'm ready to hire a team, I can delegate. Because my zone of excellence doesn't need to be in labeling every jar and creating the content myself. But I'm not at the position yet to have a team. And so there has to be steps to get to that point. But to what Caprice is saying, it's very challenging to relinquish control or to share control or to entrust another person that they have that same passion for your business as you do. The 2:00 in the morning, you wake up in the middle of the night because you have this idea and you have to write it in your phone half asleep because you're going to forget in the morning. That's where I'm at. And so my energy is best as a visionary, as being the founder. But right now, the point is to build it out and then establish everything else that's needed to scale.
I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and when I sleep really well. So if I'm not sleeping, I know there's a reason. And I got a download for my health and wellness business name. The Joy of Wealth, WELLTH, because health is your true measure of success. And I was on GoDaddy at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, and all the social media is grabbing the name everywhere. Only entrepreneurs do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's fulfillment, right?
Yep.
In this moment, you're so excited and so on. So it's passion.
With me, with scaling, it's a little different in the coaching business. It's much different in the plastic surgery because obviously we have support stuff. And what I feel like I know my limitations. I know where I shine in running the business, and I know where I have shortcomings. So, for example, for one of the biggest thing we've done, we invested very heavily in a person to train another person for our office, for sales process, for welcoming patients, and also hospitality training. So I know where I have the little gaps, the little holes. I'm really good at seeing those, and then I find the right people to come and fill those gaps so we can continue to grow and expand, and there's no leaks. So that's what I'm doing, like plugging in a lot of holes right now, making it really smooth so we can expand and grow, and then have maybe a 10-year exit plan.
I love that analogy. The leaks, plugging the holes with good people that you can count on.
Good people, great people. And I found a lot of the people I hire, I find them through the networking groups.
I got some great advice about 3 years ago from a girlfriend, someone who gives me great honest feedback. And I was complaining. I was having a pity party, and I was saying, I have to do this and this and this and this for my business, or hire someone. And so she recommended someone, and I said, no, it's too expensive. It's not worth it. So I did, and I tried her out for a week or a month, and then it ended up being 3 years later. So it wasn't about perfectionism, but realistic progression, and allowing someone to take over certain aspects of the business now allows me to help others. And that's what I learned about scaling. And then my business is essentially a media business. So we are planning for the next 5 years, everything to be digital so that it can be scalable, so that we can provide passive income, whether at work or don't.
Right.
So that's
But it's
really
still
the
not
long
passive
term.
income. You still have to work.
Still have to work.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Although
that's the plan.
it's doesn't require you to work hourly,
Correct.
to earn your income.
Correct, because I was exchanging time for money
Exactly.
for many, many years. So now it's going to be scalable to the digital world.
Yeah,
So.
that's
Digital is my future, definitely, with what I'm known. But
got to be everyone's future. We're just the digital age we're kind of almost beyond it. Now we've got AI. We've got to incorporate AI into our
but
businesses.
on the other side, the human touch will never go away yet.
And with HeartLink
And-
Women Network, we still need that human touch.
Exactly, this human interaction.
I think
and
we're
really,
going to
like,
have some full circle
Yeah.
on that. I even see that recently with the last 10, 15 years, we communicate via text, email, Facebook Messenger, all these different places. And it's become challenging. I don't know if you experience the same thing, but communication with our clients and our prospects is very challenging these days because everyone communicates.
Because it used to be just email.
Right.
Yeah.
And now
or
email,
phone call.
Or phone call. Yeah.
Let's not talk about
and now
age, right?
email is so inundated.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so challenging. It's my least favorite place, and I can tell it's other people's least favorite place too. And
I like texting,
but I'm picking
texting.
up the phone more.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I think that's coming kind of a little full circle. It's forced because now we need to reach people in order to serve people, to help people. And so picking up that phone is so old school.
It is.
It's so foreign, especially for the under 30 people. And I'm glad to see that. But I think even with the AI, I find it such a valuable tool. I love it. It helps me to make decisions faster, add value faster. But it's never without starting here.
I mean, if you treat it as a companion and not as someone who's doing the decision for you, I think you are good.
Yeah. But I do think that will always, it always needs to contain the heart and come from our human brains. And we always, otherwise, I don't know about you, but there's so much of the same. It's starting to spit out the same answers. I read so many things and it's like, okay, there's the same 20 words and the same cadence and the same. So it can't be sustained like that. You know?
It's interesting you said that about AI because I've recently met someone who said it's hard to start a business because now I can't keep up with AI.
Yes.
And it's very challenging because they feel like they're far, far behind. They're not able to start. So, just start now. But it can be very overwhelming. Some people are really sensitive to just technology in general. But I believe it's been an asset for me in my business as well. And I know you and those others. But it is scary for those who feel like they're falling behind and they don't know where to start. So, how do you share that with someone?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a question that they're probably asking themselves in private and not sharing in public. So I think that there's probably plenty of people that need their service or their product that they want to create. And so if they know that there's always the perfect people to serve, there's going to be people that don't adapt it for a long time. And I hope that we're not in a world filled with iRobots, for a very long time. But I think that human touch, the heart, and the not rushing. I feel like AI is rushing us, and so
That's
slowing down is okay. Again, we're going back to the whole core of HeartLink Network Women is that we're about authenticity, real people with hearts that care, and that's evident. And so I just feel honored that, and I'm determined to continue that, so that we don't get lost in all this fakeness and the AI. And again, I go back to the you factor, that it's all about you. And if we let AI be us, then we've lost the you behind our business. So I think we can I think we can maintain this. How about you? I don't think we have to lose ourselves to AI, right? And our kids with good guidance will be okay.
So thank you for creating the HeartSeat.
Yeah.
Caprice.
Thank you. This was awesome. I could sit here for 3 more hours at least.
So be good.
But I know that people need to get to dinner and their families, and I'm sure California Talk Studio. Do you want to go home?
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. Okay, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been the most amazing first panel, HeartSeat Circle, and I'm grateful to be in your presence and just to call you friends.
Good job, Caprice.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What a day. I feel like we should all go. Woo!
Yay! Yay!
That was fun. I loved it. Thank you for joining us on The Heart Seat. If today's conversation offered clarity or sparked something meaningful for you, please share it with entrepreneurs ready to build lasting success, the kind created with purpose at the center and heart in the lead, or with anyone who could use a dose of positivity and hope for a brighter future. For deeper connection, resources, and community, visit heartlinknetwork.com. We'll see you on the next episode of The Heart Seat.